Anna had put on a very simple batiste gown. Dolly scrutinized that simple gown attentively. She knew what it meant, and the price at which such simplicity was obtained. "An old friend," said Anna of Anushka. Anna was not embarrassed now. She was perfectly composed and at ease. Dolly saw that she had now completely recovered from the impression her arrival had made on her, and had assumed that superficial, careless tone which, as it were, closed the door on that compartment in which her deeper feelings and ideas were kept. "Well, Anna, and how is your little girl?" asked Dolly. Annie? This was what she called her little daughter Anna. "Very well." "She has got on wonderfully." "Would you like to see her?" "Come, I'll show her to you." "We had a terrible bother," she began telling her, "over nurses. We had an Italian wet nurse. A good creature, but so stupid. We wanted to get rid of her, but the baby is so used to her that we've gone on keeping her still." "But how have you managed?" Dolly was beginning a question as to what name the little girl would have, but noticing a sudden frown on Anna's face, she changed the drift of her question. "How did you manage? Have you weaned her yet?" But Anna had understood. "You didn't mean to ask that? You meant to ask about her surname?" "Yes. That worries Alexei. She has no name, that is, she's a Karenina," said Anna, dropping her eyelids till nothing could be seen but the eyelashes meeting. "But we'll talk about all that later," her face suddenly brightening. "Come, I'll show you her. _LS trace gentile _. She crawls now." In the nursery the luxury which had impressed Dolly in the whole house struck her still more. There were little go-karts ordered from England, and appliances for learning to walk, and a sofa after the fashion of a billiard table, purposely constructed for crawling, and swings and baths, all of special pattern, and modern. They were all English, solid, and of good make, and obviously very expensive. The room was large, and very light and lofty. When they went in, the baby, with nothing on but her little smock, was sitting in a little elbow chair at the table, having her dinner of broth, which she was spilling all over her little chest. The baby was being fed, and the Russian nursery maid was evidently sharing her meal. Neither the wet nurse nor the head nurse were there. They were in the next room, from which came the sound of their conversation in the queer French which was their only means of communication. Hearing Anna's voice, a smart, tall, English nurse with a disagreeable face and a dissolute expression walked in at the door, hurriedly shaking her fair curls, and immediately began to defend herself, though Anna had not found fault with her. At every word Anna said, the English nurse said hurriedly several times, "Yes, my lady." The rosy baby with her black eyebrows and hair, her sturdy red little body with tight goose-flesh skin, delighted Darya Alexandrovna in spite of the cross expression with which she stared at the stranger. She positively envied the baby's healthy appearance. She was delighted, too, at the baby's crawling. Not one of her own children had crawled like that. When the baby was put on the carpet and its little dress tucked up behind, it was wonderfully charming. Looking round like some little wild animal at the grown-up big people with her bright black eyes, she smiled, unmistakably pleased at their admiring her, and holding her legs sideways, she pressed vigorously on her arms, and rapidly drew her whole back up after, and then made another step forward with her little arms. But the whole atmosphere of the nursery, and especially the English nurse, Darya Alexandrovna did not like at all. It was only on the supposition that no good nurse would have entered so irregular a household as Anna's that Darya Alexandrovna could explain to herself how Anna with her insight into people could take such an unprepossessing, disreputable-looking woman as nurse to her child. Besides, from a few words that were dropped, Darya Alexandrovna saw at once that Anna, the two nurses, and the child had no common existence, and that the mother's visit was something exceptional. Anna wanted to get the baby her plaything, and could not find it. Most amazing of all was the fact that on being asked how many teeth the baby had, Anna answered wrong, and knew nothing about the two last teeth. "I sometimes feel sorry I'm so superfluous here," said Anna, going out of the nursery and holding up her skirt so as to escape the plaything standing in the doorway. "It was very different with my first child." I expected it to be the other way, said Darya Alexandrovna shyly. Oh, no. By the way, do you know I saw Seryosha? Said Anna, screwing up her eyes, as though looking at something far away. But we'll talk about that later. You wouldn't believe it, I'm like a hungry beggar woman when a full dinner is set before her, and she does not know what to begin on first. The dinner is you, and the talks I have before me with you, which I could never have with anyone else, and I don't know which subject to begin upon first. May Jane vous ferai grâce de rien _. I must have everything out with you. Oh, I ought to give you a sketch of the company you will meet with us, she went on. I'll begin with the ladies. Princess Varvara, you know her, and I know your opinion and Steva's about her. Steva says the whole aim of her existence is to prove her superiority over Auntie Katerina Pavlovna, that's all true, but she's a good-natured woman, and I am so grateful to her. In Petersburg there was a moment when a chaperone was absolutely essential for me. Then she turned up. But really she is good-natured. She did a great deal to alleviate my position. I see you don't understand all the difficulty of my position there in Petersburg, she added. Here I'm perfectly at ease and happy.